Good morning. The title for this morning is For Those That Cannot See What's Happening. And the blurb I wrote is Everything Depends on Consciousness. I doubt there are exceptions. No one can see anything until they have a personal point of reference, since all reality exists in context. Nothing is independent. It's all interdependent and interconnected. As I look at the world, I see major changes happening very quickly. I admit, sometimes it does not seem quick enough. But for those that cannot see, let me say that what you see depends on where you choose to look and what filters are still active in your conscious awareness. Seeing requires removal of filters. As I pondered many things in the meditation room today, as I prayed for the world, as I prayed for the people that are on each side of the drama, the dark and the light side, I became, in that moment, very aware that there is a dance happening, there is a drama being played out, there is an unfolding taking place on this planet. And not everybody sees it or interprets it in the same way. And I'm not going to claim to you for 1 second that I see everything clearly. I can only see what I'm looking at, and everything that I look at and put into words, I'm interpreting through my filters. Yesterday I posted a video about the law is on the side of the people. Some people took exception to that, and that's to be expected, because law is a broad term. I've been working a lot lately and doing a lot of research and listening to videos and audios and stuff like that that give me perspective. I realize, for example, that what most people call the laws are not laws at all. They're definitely acts and ordinances and stuff like that to control the people. That's a fact. But they are not laws. Not in the definition of law that I'm using. And you see, everything again depends, how are you defining it? When I define illusion, I don't mean that it's fake. Some people do mean illusion means it's not real, it's fake. No, it is real. It's just not permanent. That's all I mean by illusion. Illusion is about limited consciousness, seeing only a little bit, seeing through filters of belief systems, filters of presuppositions, filters of your personality, and how you choose to organize the content in your life. Everything is perspective. Everything. No one's perspective is necessarily superior to anyone else's. For that person, each person must find their own perspective, their own point of view, and it's wise to recognize that that point of view, whatever it is subject to change. If you try to lock it in place, as fundamentalists of any sort do, then you limit yourself to growth. You say, well, this is it. This is what I'm going to believe, and nothing is going to change my mind. I'm adamant about it. Well, you're adamant in creating a delusion for yourself, because if there's anything that's permanent in every lifetime, in every world, in every dimension, I believe the permanence is always change. Everything is always changing. Nothing stays the same. Now, I thought of Larry Norman's song, "Nothing ever changes, everything remains the same. We are what we are till the day that we die." That's the way a lot of people live. Nothing really changes. That's not where we are as a collective in 2012. 2011 and 2012 are the opening of the underworlds. They're the opening of the unconscious. Everything that has been hidden is becoming exposed. All the lies are being revealed. Truth is being told. The law of God, the law of the cosmos, the law of creation, natural law, whatever you want to call it, is on the side of the people. The people are waking up. Even constitutional law and common law are on the side of the people. Yes, you can look back and say it didn't work, it didn't work. Well, it's going to work now because we're in a new paradigm. Can you see that? Maybe you can't. It depends on where you're looking. It depends on where I'm looking. When I first was arrested back in May, on May the 27th, after that time, I was wondering, who did this to me? Who did this to me? Who was the one that issued the complaint? And I talked to a man yesterday who jumped into my mind at that point in time. And I realized shortly thereafter that he would not have done that. But he was someone that was very adamant about it being wrong to be driving without a license. He saw it as driving. Again, people are brainwashed into what reality is. How do they define terms? Driving to him means getting behind the wheel of a car and operating the vehicle on roadways. That's driving. To me, there's a legal definition of driving. It means using public roads for the purpose of commerce and transporting goods or persons for profit, for hire. It is a commercial definition. It has nothing to do with getting in your vehicle and traveling from one point to another. And even the word vehicle has a legal definition. Vehicle is an appliance, if you will, made for the purpose of commerce. Vehicle also is a commercial definition. Everything in our commercial code in this world has a legal definition, and the common people don't know what those legal definitions are, and therefore the law seems to work against them because they have not recognized the reality of how the words are being used and defined. And because they're not, they become enslaved by the law. But the same laws that enslave us are the same laws that have the power to set us free when we understand how to properly use them. That requires education. It requires the willingness to gain new perspectives. It requires the opening of the mind and the opening of the heart. It requires being able to see ultimately from the perspective of the Creator. For the Creator's perspective is within, albeit maybe hidden, is within each part of the sentient creation. And I don't know which parts are not sentient. Perhaps even rocks have a certain level of sentience, for example. I don't know that. But as I learn more, I realize how much I didn't know when I thought I did. And so I'm willing, more willing than ever before in my life, to let go of preconceived notions, of beliefs that I thought were fixed, and let them become unfixed. Let them become flexible and movable so that I can expand my definition of what possible is. Possible is whatever I define it to be. If I think it's impossible, I'm right. If I think something is possible, I'm right. That's how it seems to be working. Now, am I disappointed sometimes? I sure am. Things don't happen fast enough, as I said in the blurb. I get impatient just like everybody else, and one of the reasons I do these videos every day, which I didn't know when I started doing them, but as I reflect on doing daily videos, am I doing them for me or am I doing them for humanity? Well, I'm doing them for me in the respect that it gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me a sense of meaning for my life. I have the feeling when I'm doing these daily videos that I'm performing a function that's of value, and there are people that confirm and affirm that it is valuable to them. Now, it may not be valuable to each person every day. I would probably say that there's no more than 50 to 100 people that pretty much listen and watch every single day. I don't know. I mean, there's huge numbers, but I don't know which percentage of them are the same ones over and over again. I know some of my regular friends cannot watch, possibly, and listen every single day. And so when I was meditating this morning, Anastasia's words came to me again. I exist for those for whom I exist. And what I am giving to the world is the same thing. I exist for those for whom I exist. Sometimes what I have to share is just perfect and appropriate for where you are in your life in that moment. And I get feedback on that. And I'm sure there are people that feel that way that do not take the time to provide feedback, and both are okay. Both are okay. I'm learning, sometimes with great resistance, but I'm learning to be more flexible and to be more allowing and to be more gracious and merciful and kind in allowing others to be where they are. Because if you can't see what's happening, well, you can't see it. You can't see it until you're ready. If I was told some of these things that I'm experiencing now and learning now, if I was told them even last year, I might have found it difficult to believe. But certainly, if I was told them 10 years ago, it would have been extremely difficult to believe. You see, awakening is a process, and it's happening to the entire human race. And we are being visited by angels and extraterrestrials and frequencies and powers and principalities. We are being visited by our personal and our collective underworlds, and everything is being opened up. And we can't handle it all at once. So it's a progressive unfolding. It's a progressive opening to awaken us to greater and greater truths and to ever redefine what possible is. Is it possible that we are all white knights, those of us that are playing this role of trying to turn on the lights and expose the darkness? Are we white knights? Portal 2012. I have a page on 2012indieinfo.com. White Knights, the Calvary is coming. Help is on its way. Actually, the truth is, help is already here. It's already activated. Maybe you can't see that. Maybe you don't believe in extraterrestrials. Maybe you don't believe in angels. Maybe you don't believe in whatever it is that you don't believe in. So if you don't believe it's possible, if you don't believe it's true, you're right. You're right. But you may not have the truth for, actually, you don't have the truth for everybody else. Your truth is not the ultimate truth, neither is mine. We only see what we're willing to see, and we only see what we look at and look for, and how we define what it is that we experience and perceive. Everything, everything, everything is perception. And to me, we are going through massive and wonderful changes that are creating heaven on earth. And I do believe it's going to happen a lot more quickly than even some people that I highly respect believe it can possibly happen. How? I don't know. I'll leave that to God. I'll leave that to aspects of my own being that I'm not yet fully cognizant of. I leave you with these thoughts this morning, and I trust that you will have not only a good day today, but a great weekend ahead. Namaste.